What kind of like flea tick preventative do you use for your dogs?
That was funny. You didn't realize you didn't have your microphone in front of you.
I realized it as soon as I heard it. That's what the headphones
you're
are
like,
for.
wait,
I
what's
realized it
going on?
immediately.
So no, it's called NexGuard, I think. It's just like a little chewable thing that they take once a month at the beginning of the month. And it does all of those things. Flea, heartworm, whatever.
And you remember to give it to him?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, it's an alarm on my phone. So yes, I do remember with help. Good. What about you? What do you use?
I use the Seresto collar usually, but I was always wondering like if you used anything else.
Gotcha. No, that's I did use Seresto for a while, but this is honestly just I don't know. This seems easier.
My dog just had a vet appointment.
Affordable. Yeah.
So it's just top of mind awareness, you know?
Yeah, no, it's relatable too, you know. I wonder if it's more common to have like the Seresto or the chewables. You look very puzzled by this.
I'm trying to find our YouTube link and share it. So I'm just doing the cold open while I also like share the show that's live. So I'm kind of confused because it says 1 hour ago and we just started.
We did just start. We've not been live for an hour.
I hope not. It hasn't been very good.
Yeah, no, there's been not much happening.
Not much going on.
I was kind of wandering in and out of frame. I think I ate a piece of chicken. Like
one person came by with a high heel on her head and there was really no explanation. That would have been kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe we should start rolling like an hour before we're actually talking.
Isn't that like a Twitch thing? Isn't that what they do on those platforms? They kind of just like start rolling and they just hang out all day.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about NFL best bets for week 4. Can you believe we're already 4 weeks in?
It always feels like it flies by. I feel like there's like notable weeks for me every season. Maybe this is just maybe me being weird, but notable weeks for me that always like stand out and arrive faster than I think they're going to are 4, 8, and 11.
Wow.
And I realize that's probably just incredibly strange, but it is what it is.
I think we're also going to get into a good amount of F1. After that Grand Prix last week, there's definitely somebody else who has re-entered the chat, and he's not wearing orange.
Nope. Finally, we have people doing things not wearing orange.
1 week ago, we were talking about how it was over. We were like, oh, man, roll up the season. What's going to happen? And now all of a sudden, crack a can of Red Bull.
That's right. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be good stuff.
I've got at least 3 best bets this week. I feel good about them. We're bobbing and weaving from last week. We're switching it up.
Okay, nice. I bet we're on the same page with a couple of these.
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian and Sean break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
The Wit and Grit podcast includes gambling-related discussion, opinions, and advice intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Ian Price here in Virginia, Sean in North Carolina are not attorneys, financial advisors, or licensed bookmakers. Nothing said on this podcast should be taken as professional or legal advice. Listeners are solely responsible for their own gambling decisions. Always gamble legally and responsibly. We are not liable for any losses, decisions, or actions taken based on the content of the show. If you need help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You'll notice we emphasize unit size a lot on this show, and that's a big part of the gambling. It's like,
absolutely,
you want to take calculated risk, and you want to use the right amount of money to do it.
Right, totally. And if that
not
means
all your money,
exactly. If that means your unit is $5, $1, just bet within your limits. That's all you got to do.
Well, what do you want to do first?
Well, let's start effing around first. I think let's F around. So we got high drama, we got high stakes, some downforce. Ian, what's going on with Christian Horner?
Woo! Well, he left. He got shown the door, which I'm sure will be a really big part of the Netflix series this upcoming season.
Right.
He left in July, right after the British Grand Prix. His contract still had several years left on it, though. It ran well into the 2030s, so the last few months have been all about negotiating a settlement, which is reportedly worth as much as $100 million.
Well, is there an official reason Red Bull let him go?
He was there for 2 decades, 2-decade era of Horner at the top of the team. He won 14 championships in more than 120 races. So, yeah, why do you get rid of that guy? What a great question, Sean. It's the drama from last season. He almost got asked to leave last season. There's tension between him and the Verstappen camp, right?
Okay.
It there was a bad taste, and I don't know if they're going to admit to it, but the recent results kind of make me think that, and we'll get to that in a second. So they never publicly gave a reason.
Right. Well, they kind of dominated back in 23, right? And so, right when they start showing some weakness, it feels like knives came out.
I mean, yeah. It just feels to me like Horner wasn't just the team principal either. He ran Red Bull, powertrains, and Red Bull applied technologies too. So the settlement had to cover a lot more than just the F1 side. He put out a statement saying it was an honor and a privilege to lead the team, and he thanked everyone for the journey. Red Bull also gave him a send-off in their official statement, calling his work exceptional. But here's where it gets interesting. This opens the door for a return to F1 if Horner wants it.
As the team principal again?
Might be tough, but the rumors floating around are about Horner trying to return as a team investor. One name that's been mentioned, Alpine. That team is partly owned by Atro Capital, and one of the guys Horner's close with, Flavio, who we've talked about, very flamboyant, very bad boy. Yeah. He's involved there, obviously. Even Toto Wolff joked that a Horner-Flavio partnership would be the Mafia reunited, but Alpine said nothing's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, he would need partners. You're not going to buy an F1 team solo, not these days.
Exactly. Teams are worth close to $1 billion now, even with $100 million payout. Horner would need financial backers, and the fact that he's free from any Red Bull obligations now means the next chapter can start. He's only 51, and I don't think he's done with F1. So it's going to be interesting because Alpine is always this team that is going to... Hold on one second. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alpine is always this team that is going to try to make a big splash. That's why they brought back Flavio. It was a big deal. It was very controversial. They're not afraid to make a splash because they're a mid team trying to get up there. You've got to do what you got to do. So they're trying to go, zig and zag.
Totally. So speaking of Red Bull, while Horner's out, Max Verstappen very much back in. Quiet middle stretch of the season, but now he's won back-to-back races, Monza and Baku, and suddenly cut the points gap to Piastri down to 69. At one point, it was up to 94, and there are still 199 points up for grabs. So with 7 races left, with 3 sprints, Max still a long shot. He's got momentum again.
Piastri crashing out in Baku did not hurt either, and Lando Norris only managed 7th.
Right.
So Red Bull gained big.
Right. And, Andrea Stella, the team boss, said before the race that Verstappen can absolutely, still win the title. He said, a firm yes. Can you write that in capitals? Like, they understand that Max is out there and he's coming. After he dominated the race, he led every lap. That's kind of hard to argue, right? The 21 car looked dialed in with the recent upgrades. Some of the, the new floor seems to have made a real difference for him. It's taken away some of the balance issues they had, right?
Strategically, Max is still a step ahead. In Baku, he chose to start on hard tires, a risky move. They gave him more flexibility with safety cars, and he made it work.
Yeah, and that's something that was a call of his directly. The engineer said that Max was very convincing that he can manage that risk, so they felt comfortable, going with him, and he was right. It's the kind of input you only get from a driver who really understands the car and the race conditions.
Yeah, just a back-to-back champion.
Right. But still a steep hill to climb for him, honestly, obviously. If Piastri finishes second in every remaining race, even if Max wins all of them, Max still loses the title by 17 points. So by no means is it a lock for him, but, he's coming.
McLaren just has to keep things steady, though. I mean, no more DNFs, no more messy weekends like Baku. They just need to kind of they can't be crashing.
Right. No. The cool thing is, it seems like for the first time in months, there's actually some conversation again. And that, I think, heading into Singapore, one of Red Bull's weakest tracks, just makes it all the more interesting.
Right. And like a new team principal for the first time in how long? Decades. So
right.
Maybe they could shake that off a little.
Absolutely.
Let's shift gears for a second, pun intended, literally and emotionally. Romain Grosjean. He is a French-Swiss race driver. Do you know much about him?
I'm not super familiar. No, I did hear he was making a return this weekend, though. Last weekend.
Yeah. It's been almost 5 years since the Bahrain crash in 2020, that fireball, that miracle escape, and he never got to run his planned farewell race in Abu Dhabi. But Haas brought him back for a one-off test at Mugello in Italy as part of a testing of previous cars event. It was wet, which made it a bit more symbolic, but he wore the helmet his kids designed for that final race, and he did a standing start, his first since the accident.
Yeah, that had to be emotional.
It was Grosjean said they made him cry. He kept his visor down on the in-lap, but Ferrari, Pirelli, Red Bull, Haas, everyone who was there stood and applauded. He said it was better than the send-off he would have gotten in Abu Dhabi.
That's powerful, man. After going through something like that, it's not easy, mentally, physically, to get back in the car. So even if it's just for a test, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah, and you just never, whenever you're closing a career, it never goes the way you plan. A show that's very close to you and me, Scrubs, when they do the finale, a big part of the finale, the real finale, we're not talking about that fake season.
Yeah.
The ABC season didn't count. That was a gas leak.
Yeah.
But it's all about how JD had these. Yeah. It's all about how he had all these expectations, and then it actually played out the way it was going to play out. You're just a guy leaving. So to get that kind of emotional send-off after such a crazy crash, I bet that was huge.
Yeah, had to be. Yeah. Speaking of a little bit of emotion, we've got a little bit of extra news off track. Lewis Hamilton withdrew from the Pirelli tire test at Mugello this week because his dog Roscoe's in the hospital.
What? Yeah, scary stuff.
Yeah, he has pneumonia, struggling to breathe. Lewis said his heart stopped during treatment and he had to be resuscitated. In a coma now, they're trying to wake him up. Hamilton posted an update on social media asking fans please to keep Roscoe in their thoughts. Said he's been by Roscoe's side and just wanted to thank people for their support.
Roscoe's been with him at races for over a decade. He's basically a member of the paddock.
Right. His Instagram has 1.3 million followers. It's wild. Hopefully he pulls through. You can obviously tell how much he means to Lewis. And we're rooting for him.
Okay. Well, without knowing too much about his condition, we always wish the best for the dogs on this show.
Absolutely. Of course. We're both dog owners, dog lovers. Yeah, for sure.
Before I get into my best bets, I want you to tell me, and I know you already know kind of where I'm going, but what are some of the teams when you look at the schedule that you feel the best about as far as the NFL as we are transitioning?
Like the teams that I think are good?
Just for this week.
Oh,
like,
okay,
who do you like? Like, you just look at the schedule, you're like, oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I like the Steelers. I think I like the Commanders. I think I like the Lions. I think I like the Packers.
Avoid the Packers. We're not touching the Packers.
Okay. Maybe the Broncos.
Now we're talking. I wish I could quit the Broncos.
Oh, man.
But I'm not taking the spread. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
All right. Well, let's get into my best bets.
Sure. What you got?
All right. I'm not going to enjoy saying this. Chargers -6.
Yeah. At the Giants. Jackson Dart's coming out party.
Anything under a 7, I'll take. I mean, it's just pretty simple for me before we get into the nitty gritty. Harbaugh against a rookie quarterback and a bad defense. Oh, and that bad defense gets Justin Herbert, who seems to have figured things out.
Right.
You know, all of our bets go through the trenches. So we see the Chargers defensive line against the Giants offensive line and a rookie quarterback being the biggest advantage here. Also, Harbaugh is money early in the season versus rookie quarterbacks, and Herbert is historically strong against the spread in September and October. Do you want to tell me a little bit about, do you see any injuries or market PRO or anything?
Nothing new from the Chargers in terms of the league report. Of course, the Giants offensive line, just the weekly triage.
Yeah. I mean, Giants home games in September, October have leaned under for years, but you know, we don't really like to touch over unders. But that's a 1 unit play for me. Chargers -6, -6.5. It just looks like they should roll. That should be a favorite, that a chalk bet that hits.
Totally. Yeah, I think so too. As much as I like the Giants, as much as I love Jackson Dart, been talking about him since Ole Miss last season when we were talking a little bit of college ball even. But it's, his first game. Chargers are good. Harbaugh's a great coach. I think this is a good bet.
Let's talk about something. I mean, when do we believe in Indiana Jones? We backed him last week and it worked out. Seems like he's unstoppable with this kind of run first kind of. I heard it called a little bit of a West Coast, a little bit of a Shanahan system he's doing with Shane Steichen. It seems to be really agreeing with him. But are Sean McVay and Matt Stafford going to let that happen?
You don't think so. You wouldn't think so.
I'm backing McVay here.
I think so too.
Sean McBrain.
Right.
He remembers every single play he's ever called.
It's in LA as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rams pass rush is rolling.
Yes, absolutely.
But
not to mention how great Puka is looking too.
But Indy's offensive line is better than 23-24, et cetera, in other years. So it's not exact, but Sean McVay and Stafford are 32-9 straight up as favorites. Steichen is excellent in September and November, but McVay typically bounces after an ugly loss, which the Eagles gave them. Let's talk about that play for a second. Timeout on this matchup.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Shout out to Old Salem Brewing Company, Roanoke, downtown Market Street. That's where we were doing the All-In with Ian. F1 Rewatch, which has plenty of TVs to watch NFL at the same time because we can all do 7 things at once. And
we should.
The eruption when the Eagles, number 90, blocks that field goal, then scoops it up to cover the spread and win.
Nope, he sure did.
He didn't just win. He won us money. We need his jersey.
Yeah. He won me a whole $9. It was great.
Just depends how much you put on it. But I had a profitable week despite the Broncos letting me down. So that's all I wanted. Everything else worked out. So I was like, But I think my next best bet up to a unit probably would be a whole unit. Rams -3.5. I like the Colts to get right. Both these bets are kind of centered on the idea that these are teams, the Chargers and the Rams are teams that take care of business against teams they should beat. They win when they're favorites. They're not the Mike Tomlin reverse psychology rule.
Right.
Yeah, so what do you think about that one?
I like the Rams here against the Colts. Like I kind of would have already leaned that way, but you've convinced me with your wit.
Good plug.
Yeah.
Speaking of another hook, this time we're going to be on the better side of the hook. Buccaneers, Eagles. Shout out to a couple podcasts I heard this on that it just seems like the Eagles somehow always have to go play in Tampa Bay and it's too dang hot and they get outmatched. It feels like that happens every other year or every year.
Right. And man, with the Bucs right now, Baker Mayfield might be like definitely a top 3 quarterback that I don't want to give the ball back to with less than 2 minutes to go. You know what I mean? See
if you can look this up real quick, but I think Tristan Wirfs might be coming back this week too. So their offensive line will get better.
Oh, yeah, which would only help all things, obviously.
Right. I mean, well, specifically with this Eagles pass rush that we were just talking about, it clearly just their special teams just won the game. So
Yeah.
it's not that we're saying the Bucs will necessarily win. We kind of hope they would, I guess, but we think that they'll probably lose by a field goal or they will win. And the Eagles have been on the right side of a couple coin flips lately, not the wrong side.
Yeah. We do have Wirfs and Godwin both as questionable for this game.
Godwin's been questionable, though.
I think he's been doubtful or out.
Yeah. That kept me questioning.
I mean, that's true.
I'm an idiot. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can find any luck rankings to see if there's anything, because it feels like we're on the right side of one without actually looking at the numbers. So
Andrew was pretty good.
Who?
Andrew? Luck rankings?
Andrew Luck? My gosh. That's funny. Okay. You're a hilarious guy. They may not be doing them yet. It might still be too early in the season.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, the Eagles very much could have lost to the Rams last week on a last-minute field goal. They've had a couple of lucky breaks. I think that their luck runs out in Florida.
Yeah, as do I. I think the Bucs are a really good team, and they'll be able to at least cover it, and I think actually win this one.
All right, so those are my best bets. Those are my top three. Chargers -6, Rams -3.5, Bucs +3.5. Now I've got a couple of other speculative plays that me and Sean are going to talk out, and we're going to see how they land.
All right.
The numbers say we should take the Falcons +1 against the Commanders because teams off of a blowout historically bounce back. They got blown out.
They did.
But I've also heard the argument that Michael Penix just isn't good. And,
right. He might not be.
So that's why this isn't one I want to bet. The numbers say one thing, but I don't feel good. It's gross. It's a gross bet.
Yeah.
It's all the Browns. I was pounding my chest at you about the Browns last week. You could tell me I was right at any point, by the way. I've been waiting. I didn't get a text yet. I didn't know if you were writing a letter. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
You were the Packers. No way. No way. They lose to the Browns, said Sean. No, how could that happen? Micah Parsons has been good for 2 weeks. So how could they ever lose again?
I was definitely the only one that thought that.
No, everyone did, but that's what I was saying. It's like, I was like, we called it. That was the public trap of the week. And the public fell right into it.
They did. They did.
Luckily, you didn't bet it. You listened to me.
I did not, yes.
All right, so we're agreeing. We're not going to touch the Falcons Commanders.
Yeah, but, I don't like – I think the Commanders are probably going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always do. Bengals at Broncos.
Yeah, this one, I think Broncos, I think, could cover this too because the Bengals without Burrow are just different.
Yeah, but it's the other blowout loss game. It's like, how much are they going to bounce back? Are the Broncos going to cover 7.5? Yeah. I think because I'm biased, I want to do a money line with the Broncos because Sean Payton versus backup quarterbacks is good straight up, but covers are closer to a coin flip. So the 7.5 feels like a trap, but I think the Broncos will win this game. They may just win by like maybe less points. So I think we find the Broncos a couple of partners and we make that our parlay for the week. You want to?
I could get in on that.
You want to turn your key? Excellent.
Yeah.
Even though the Broncos are the money line that blew our parlay last week. So once bitten, ready to jump back in. I ain't shy.
Exactly.
That's the old saying. Once bitten, try harder not to get bit this time.
That's how I've always heard it.
Yeah. Raiders +1.5. Speaking about gross or a money line versus the Bears, a game I'm sure you'll want to have on television.
Well, who won't?
I mean, you know,
Max Crosby is good.
Yeah. The reason this is one of my maybe plays is because Chicago's pass protection is the single biggest matchup edge in this game. Max Crosby versus that. So
right.
They may not have time to do it. It's a little bit ugly, but the problem is, as a money line goes, it's not a very big dog. So to level out the Broncos with the Raiders might be a little difficult, but how do you feel about it?
I don't want to touch it. It's a game that I was not interested in and don't think is going to be safe to bet.
Okay. Back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Raiders had the East Coast travel. Like Bears are like kind of in a letdown spot too. Like it's like there's reason for both teams to kind of fail.
Right.
Yeah.
And precedent for it. We've seen
Right.
it. They do it a lot. They do it
Yeah.
a lot.
So I don't want my money involved in that.
Jets +3 at Dolphins. That's the other bet. Apologies.
Can't believe the Dolphins are favored. I guess they looked okay against Buffalo. They hung in there. I guess that's the logic here. But this is 2 0-3 teams. This is not going to be a good football game.
Tua is 0-4 against the spread at home in prime time.
Yep.
But the Jets and Giants are miserable at night on the road historically. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and no key and status changes for injuries, anything like that. So they're both going to be as healthy as they have been. It's toss up.
So it sounds like we're taking one safe money line out of the 4 leans there, or the 4 like heavy leans. Okay.
Yep. I think so.
The other leans that I kind of want to stay away from because, I don't know, Packers +7 at Cowboys, but a lot of professionals are on the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Titans +7.5. There's no way I want to put any money on the Titans at all.
Right.
In fact, I would like to propose. I heard somebody saying the Texans would be their survivor team this week because they just you can bet who's going to play the Titans.
That's true. That's not bad.
What are the Texans? The Texans are 0-3 also, aren't they?
I think so. They're bad. I can double check.
They're third in the division. Yeah, 0-3. Titans and Texans are 0-3. So the real question is, which team do we think is going to lose to the other? I think we take Texans and Broncos. That's 2 7.5-point favorites. Tie those together. And then if we can find one more to go with it, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I could get down on that.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
I think so.
All right. That's about it. I mean, Saints at Bills at +15.5 is on there.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I know that's huge, but that feels fair, right? The Bills are really good. The Saints are terrible. It's in Buffalo. Like, taking the Bills here might not even be a bad play. I don't know.
That's a big number. It's barely worth it.
It's huge. It's huge.
If we take,
I'd take the Bills. Bills will cover that.
Yeah, Broncos money line and Texans money line is pricing out at -172 right now.
Broncos and Texans, you said?
Yeah, so we need another money line. Do we want to double down on one of our better bets of like the Chargers?
What about this? Have we talked about the Steelers at all?
No, I didn't bring it up.
Oh, I mean, the Vikings are coming to Pittsburgh as a 2.5-point favorite, and
I think that game's in Dublin, Ireland.
Okay,
it's
cool.
At 9:30 in the morning. They're not going to Pittsburgh, so that changes the stat.
I see. I was like, what? So it's not Mike Tomlin as a home dog, truly.
Exactly. No, it falls under our international game rule, which is always bet the favorite.
Okay.
But never included in a parlay because it's gonna break open your entire parlay before kickoff at 1.
You haven't even woken up yet and you've lost.
Yeah, so that's probably why I forgot all about it. I'm glad you brought it up so we could bring that to people's attention, though.
Yeah. Don't rely on the Mike Tomlin home dog this week.
It's a trap. You got to know geography.
You got to know geography.
You got to pull in some of that geography. If we add the Chargers to this 3-way, it's only +111, but it's still plus money at that point.
And it's money line Chargers or spread?
Money line.
Okay.
If we want to throw the spread in there, we could really get wild. That doubles it if we take one of the teams on the spread. Or, we could just do an alt spread and take the Texans, Broncos, Chargers all at like -6, -6.5. I don't know.
I'd be down. That sounds good.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's gonna take me time to type that in, so
Okay. Well,
can't really do that. Right.
Can't really do that.
Can't be live on a podcast and then pull up a bunch of alt lines.
Yeah.
Ravens, Chiefs, both 1-2. I think the Chiefs are the way to bet this, right?
I where is it again? Let me double check.
It's in Arrowhead, and the Ravens' defense is decimated.
Yeah, the Chiefs are also not very good. Man, I think Ravens.
Wow. All right. Well, then I guess we can't bet that one because we don't even agree on it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we can always throw one of these smaller. Do we think the Bucks right out win? Or we think the Lions win, don't we?
Yeah.
So if we throw in the Lions with the Broncos, all on money line.
Okay. Lions, Broncos. Who else?
Texans.
Minus
-115.
Okay.
Yeah, just taking favorites in the money line does not pay out a lot, but we don't want to get greedy. You win, you win.
Yeah. Find a boost.
So follow us on Pickett or subscribe to my Substack, All In With Ian, and you can see what those final picks will be. I have not published it yet. The podcast gets it first. Whoever tunes in live can bet these bets before the lines move because the lines are always moving, as most books will not take heavy money from people until about Friday. What day is it?
Friday.
Bingo.
All right. Well, we will be back next week with some more fun stuff for you guys. But until then, take it easy.
Enjoy the games. 2 weeks till the next Grand Prix. May all your bets cash. Peace out.
Have a good weekend.